Victor Kowalski woke up at 4:37 a.m. every morning, not by an alarm, but by an internal clock honed in the Marines. His wife, Lisa, claimed that in their 12 years of marriage, he had never overslept. His first ritual, checking the window sensors. In their third-floor Pittsburgh, PA, apartment, he had installed homemade sensors rigged from baby monitor parts. If the glass vibrated, Vix received an alert on his Garmin watch. He ate breakfast standing by the window back against the wall, watching the street through the mirror above the stove. His meals never repeated 2 days in a row. On June 14th, the day before his disappearance, 2 hard-boiled eggs, a handful of almonds, and black coffee, no sugar. Lisa noticed he packed 3 energy gels into his backpack instead of his usual one, breaking his own rule: never carry extra. His urban survival school operated out of a converted warehouse in an industrial district. Students were tested at the entrance, fined 5 ways to exit the building without using doors, in under 60 seconds. Former student Sarah Mendoza recalled how Vix demonstrated escaping through a 10-inch wide ventilation shaft using a rib breathing technique he'd learned from Thai monks. On the day he vanished, he taught a morning class on counter-surveillance. The school's cameras captured an anomaly. Vix always wore black pants and gray t-shirts, but on June 15th he had on faded Levi's 501 jeans with a worn-out right knee, the same pair he'd worn returning from his last deployment in 2010. His Special Forces colleague, Mike Torres, told investigators about Vix's habit of testing friends. Once a month he staged fake emergencies, like cutting power in a bar to see who'd find the exit first. But in May, the tests stopped. A week before disappearing, Vix gave Mike an envelope for Lisa, "If I'm gone longer than 72 hours. Inside, a Pittsburgh map marked with 17 X's, all near bus routes. Downstairs, neighbor Mrs. Evelyn complained about strange noises from their apartment at 3 a.m., not knocks, but rhythmic scraping, like metal being scratched. On June 14th, it lasted exactly 12 minutes, followed by a loud thud. The next morning, Lisa found a shard of magnetic shoe insert in the hallway, the kind Vix used for parkour. Bus Stupper 57 driver Carlos Rivera saw Vix 3 times a week. He always took the 4th seat on the right, the only spot to monitor both the door and driver. But on July 15th at 2:17 p.m., Vix stood near the 3rd security camera facing the partition. Carlos noticed he wasn't holding a phone but a small signal mirror, the kind used in wilderness survival. The last person to speak to Vix before the bus was hot dog vendor Marcus Drew. At 1:53 p.m., Vix bought water but didn't open it. Marcus spotted his watch displaying 0020 in broad daylight. When asked, Vix smiled and said, "Midnight happens somewhere, always." Inside the backpack Vix left at school, investigators found 1. A Bus Starger 57 ticket with a hole punch mark in the corner. His system logged it as used at 12 p.m. 2. An empty silver nitrate capsule, his usual poison testing kit, always kept full. 3. A photo of Mike's deceased dog, taken a day before it died. On the back, 451. Lisa showed detectives his notebook. The final entry, dated June 14th. 3 lanterns burn in only one place. Police confirmed, no Pittsburgh intersections have 3 street lights. Yet at 2:23 p.m., when cameras captured Vix exiting the bus, a streetlight failed exactly 1,640 feet, 500 meters away. It flickered. 3 precise flashes. Neighbor Joe Petty, an electrician, swore he saw Vix in their basement at 7 a.m. on June 15th, checking the meter, even though their apartment was on the 3rd floor. When Joe asked, Vix replied, "Gotta know where the wires start." Later, it was revealed. The basement cameras were offline for maintenance that day. Bus NAR 57 footage shows at 2:17:33 p.m. Vix adjusted his jacket, despite the 104-degree rise, 40-degree receipt heat. Driver Carlos insists when he glanced back 30 seconds later, the spot was empty. But the camera recorded Vix until 2:18:07 p.m. A 37-second gap, the exact time his own manual stated a pro needed to vanish in a city. 2:17:03 p.m., the onboard camera in minibus, There 57 captures Victor Kowalski taking 3 steps from the door to the 4th seat on the right, his usual spot. But instead of sitting down, he freezes for 1.3 seconds, later measured by investigators, then abruptly turns and positions himself by the partition, facing the wall. The camera angle only captures his left shoulder and the back of his head. His Arc'teryx leaf jacket, hood pulled over a baseball cap, creates a blind spot for facial recognition. Driver Carlos Rivera later testifies, "Vix paid with 2 quarters and 3 dimes, exactly 80 cents. Unusual, since he always used a transit pass. The coins were warm, like they'd been clenched in a fist for hours. When they hit the fare box, the sound was muffled, like they were coated in something." 2:17:47 p.m. Passenger Linda Parrott, seated across the aisle, notices Vix removing his mechanics wear M-packed gloves, black. Beneath them, white surgical gloves, with a small cut on his right index finger. As he adjusts his jacket, she spots a Garmin watch on his wrist, displaying not the time, but a sequence, 4510000. Simultaneously, a traffic cam at 10th Street and Kensington Avenue catches minibus number 57 running a red light. Uncharacteristic for Carlos, who'd gone 12 years without a ticket. He'd later insist the light was green. A system audit reveals. At 2:17:51 p.m., the traffic grid switched to test mode for 11 seconds, showing green in all directions. 2:18:02 p.m. The interior camera shows Vix lifting a small, mirror-like object to his face. Witness accounts conflict. Linda swears it was a folding knife. Carlos insists it was a scalpel. Video analysis only confirms a glare in his right hand. During this, the minibus's internal temperature spikes from 102 degrees to 108 degrees in 15 seconds, then plummets to 95 degrees. 2:18:17 p.m. Blind musician Jason Moore boards through the front door. The camera glitches. His Ambutech cane, red-striped model, first taps the floor near the driver, then instantly reappears by the 4th seat, Vic's usual spot. Physically impossible to cover 7.5 feet in 0.3 seconds. Jason sits, placing the cane beside him. At that moment, Vix, still at the partition, turns his head 23 degrees to the right, perfectly evading the camera. 2:18:33 p.m. Carlos hears 2 sounds. A phone ringing in Vix's pocket, default iPhone tone, though Vix only used flip phones, and the click of the emergency exit. Footage shows the door closed, but pressure sensors log it opening for 0.8 seconds. Simultaneously, the GPS glitches, placing the bus 1,640 feet away from its actual location. Linda later describes a smell, almonds, matching Jason's account, then burning plastic. She turns, Vix is gone. His jacket lies neatly folded on the seat, containing a hand-drawn map of sewer tunnels beneath 10th Street. A red marker notes, entry point, 2:23 p.m. 2:19:01 p.m. Jason removes his sunglasses. The camera reveals his uneven pupils, left dilated to 7 mm, normal, 3 mm. He faces Vix's empty seat and whispers 3 words, caught by the mic. Midnight, shadow, 45. Meanwhile, a factory security cam films a figure in an Arc'teryx jacket emerging from a manhole. No face visible, but his Garmin watch shows 0.0 on a cracked screen. He takes 3 steps toward a payphone. Then streetlights black out for 1.4 seconds. When power returns, he's vanished. Inside the booth, 2 quarters and 3 dimes. 2:17 p.m. Minibus, Mer 57 stops at the factory. Jason exits, but his cane remains on the seat. 6 seconds later, it pixel dissolves, starting with the red stripe. Carlos insists the bus was empty post 2:20 p.m., yet weight sensors detect someone in seat number 4 until the final stop. Footprints on the seat match Vix's size 10.5 shoes, but the tread pattern doesn't align with his orthotic insoles. 2:23 p.m. Facial recognition at an intersection, 1,640 feet from the factory flags Vix exiting minibus number 57 through the emergency door, sealed since 2019. He holds Jason's cane, but a store window reflection shows him gripping Jason's Fender guitar instead. Simultaneously, Vix's home security cam logs his computer screen displaying the route number 57 map. At 2:23:03 p.m., a pop-up appears. Dead clocks activated. Room temperature drops from 72 degrees to 63 degrees in 3 seconds. Motion sensors trigger. No one's there. Vic's wife, Lisa, is at work. A co-worker recalls her suddenly smelling almonds at 2:23 p.m. 5 minutes later, she receives a call from a payphone, number deactivated in 2018. Only dripping water and 3 beeps before disconnection. The final footage comes from a mirror factory. At 2:23:17 p.m., Vix appears in 3 reflections simultaneously. First mirror, holding the cane. Second mirror, carrying the guitar. Third mirror, clutching his magnetic shoe insole. The fourth mirror, shattered, shows only void. Investigators later confirm Vix couldn't physically traverse the distances between camera sightings between 2:17 to 2:23 p.m. Witness statements, GPS logs, and timestamps form an impossible triangle. The sole evidence, his jacket containing a one-way ticket to Kiev under El Petrenko. Flight 451. Departure June 15, 11:45 p.m. At 2:23:17 p.m., the mirror factory records its final frame. In the left mirror, Vix is frozen mid-motion, his cane raised as if warding off an unseen threat. The center mirror captures his back, his right hand paused in the act of removing his Garmin watch. The right mirror, the oldest one with mercury streaks, reflects only a shadow, one that stands 3 inches taller than Vix's actual height. Factory technician Michael Torres, reviewing system logs that day, noticed an anomaly in the temperature readings. At 2:23:21 p.m., sensors in workshop number 4 recorded a sudden spike to 124 degrees at mirror number 3, despite the AC running normally. When Michael went to inspect, he found 3 fingerprints on the glass, 2 index fingers and a pinky, positioned as if someone had braced themselves against a fall. The prints matched those on Jason Moore's cane. Meanwhile, on bus number 57, driver Carlos Rivera was finishing his route. At the terminal stop, he discovered an Arc'teryx jacket neatly folded on the 4th seat. A closer inspection revealed a microscopic stain on the inner tag. Lab analysis identified a mix of sweat and silver nitrate. Inside the right pocket was a sheet of paper folded in half, bearing GPS coordinates for a manhole cover on 10th Street. The back showed a crude sketch of the mirror factory, labeled in red. Transition point. 2:25:03 p.m. Police received the first call from Lisa Kowalski. Her statement included an odd detail. An hour before his disappearance, Vix had left a note on the fridge with the numbers 45-1000, the same digits displayed on his watch in the bus. Below them, he'd drawn 3 crossed-out streetlights. Neighbor Evelyn Choi, a nurse, took out her trash at 2:30 p.m. and noticed the Kowalskis' apartment door ajar. Inside, the air smelled of almonds and wet concrete. On the kitchen table sat a bottle of ice water, the same one Vix had bought from Marcus chef Drew. The ice hadn't melted, despite the apartment's 90-degree of heat. 2:35:17 p.m. Detectives examined the manhole on 10th Street. The cover was slightly askew, its metal teeth marked by fresh shoe scratches. On the third step down lay a size 10.5 magnetic insole. Lab tests confirmed it matched the pair Vicks wore that day, but the tread pattern was inverted, as if it belonged to a mirror image. At the precinct, Carlos Rivera was questioned. The driver insisted no one had been on the bus after 2:20 p.m. Yet a recheck of the footage showed an anomaly. From 2:21 to 2:23 p.m., seat number 4 trembled faintly, as if occupied by an invisible presence. Weight sensors registered exactly 180 lbs, Vicks's clothed weight. 2:40 p.m., facial recognition tech. Jonathan Clay found a discrepancy. The timestamp on footage of Vicks exiting through a welded-shut door read 2:23 p.m., but pixel analysis proved the image was generated at 2:25:17 p.m., 2 minutes after the Mirror Factory recording. Meanwhile, his reflection in a guitar shop window showed no signs of tampering. 2:45:33 p.m. Patrol officers checked a payphone near the factory. The coin slot held 3 coins, 2 quarters, and a dime, all minted in 1985, Vicks's birth year. The receiver bore a single print, a left pinky, that matched Jason Moore's records with 100% accuracy. Back at the Kowalski's apartment, their computer suddenly activated. Surveillance footage showed the screen switching to a sewer tunnel map at 2:47 p.m., centered on a silhouette holding a cane beneath 3 dead streetlights. Zooming in revealed a 45 painted on the wall behind him, followed by 6 zeros. 2:50:02 p.m. Lisa Kowalski received an SMS from an unknown number. Shadow, guitar, mirror, door. Geolocation traced it to a phone destroyed in 2017, Vicks's personal device from his Special Forces days. At the factory, Michael Torres kept investigating. By 2:55 p.m., mirror number 3, the one with the temperature spike, now reflected the interior of bus number 57. Zooming in revealed a Fender guitar on seat number 4 and an Ambutech cane in the aisle. The screenshot later vanished from archives. 3:00 p.m., police officially filed the missing persons report. The last 2 logged locations, the Mirror Factory and the manhole, were a mile apart, aligned in a straight line intersecting 3 dead streetlights along bus number 57's route. 3:05:17 p.m., detectives re-interviewed Carlos Rivera. This time, he recalled a detail. At 2:18 p.m., Vicks's shadow on the bus floor didn't match his posture. It was turned 45 degrees and held what looked like a guitar. 3:10 p.m., the Arc'teryx jacket yielded another clue. Its inner pocket held microscopic mirror coating particles, identical to workshop number 4's material. A hair in the collar belonged to Jason Moore, despite no known connection to Vicks. 3:15:45 p.m. Tex recovered data from the Garmin watch found near the manhole. Its last log entry, 2:23 p.m. Manual input of code 45-1000. Accelerometer data showed 3 sharp rotations, 45 degrees left, 100 degrees right, 45 degrees left, mirroring the streetlight's layout. 3:20 p.m. Lisa provided Vicks's notebook. The final page mapped bus number 57's route with 3 red X's at the factory, mirror plant, and manhole. Below it read, "When 3 points become a mirror, the door opens." 3:25:17 p.m. A reenactment was conducted. At 2:23 p.m., the patrol car was precisely midway between all 3 points. GPS glitched. Coordinates simultaneously placed it at all 3 locations. 3:30 p.m. The case was reclassified as special circumstances. The sealed report noted physical impossibility of triple presence. Final line, search areas lit by 3 streetlights. 3:35:45 p.m. Payphone audio analysis revealed rhythmic thumps matching footsteps on metal, identical to vibrations recorded in bus NR 57 at 2:21 p.m. 3:40 p.m. Mirror factory footage confirmed 4 mirrors showed divergent events at 2:23:17 p.m., while the 5th camera captured only empty space, except for a half-second shadow of a cane-wielding figure. 3:45 p.m. Lisa received a second call from Vix's number. After 3 tones, a voice resembling his stated, "Shadow 451 activated." The call dropped as geolocation pinned it beneath the 3 streetlights. 3:50 p.m. The lead detective's conclusion: Victor Kowalski's disappearance defies standard logic. Evidence suggests an orchestrated escape, but physical anomalies challenge its feasibility. 3:55 p.m. Officers revisited the manhole. The insole was gone, replaced by a ticket to Kiev issued to L. Petrenko, now dated June 15, 12 a.m. Flight 451. 4:00 p.m. The case was archived as suspended. Lisa's final statement: he'll emerge where 3 streetlights shine, just not in our time. 4:05 p.m. City cameras detected an anomaly. At 10th Street and Kensington Avenue, where bus number 57 had run a red light at 2:17 p.m., all 3 streetlights flickered simultaneously. Motion sensors triggered 45 times with no visible cause. 4:10 p.m. The Kowalskis' computer shut down for good. Its final image, a map with 3 points forming a triangle. At the center, the words, "Door open." 4:34 p.m. Patrol officer. Daniels examines the intersection under flickering streetlights. His radio picks up a strange sound, a metallic screech like a heavy door swinging open nearby. Beneath the central lamp, he spots 3 parallel scratches on the asphalt, each exactly 17.7 inches long and angled at 100 degrees. Later analysis would confirm these match the exact dimensions of an Ambutech cane used by Jason Moore. 4:15 p.m. At the precinct, Sergeant Leroy runs a database search. Flight number 4521 yields one result: a cargo transport from Kyiv to Pittsburgh on June 15, 1999, the day Vix's mother died. The manifest listed industrial equipment, but customs records show a red-stamped note: mirrors for a special project. 4:17:45 p.m. Technician Clay re-examines footage from the mirror factory. At 400% zoom, he notices Vix's reflection in the 3rd mirror briefly shifts, revealing Jason Moore's profile instead. Audio analysis detects a faint guitar riff, AED, identical to the intro of Moore's last subway performance before his disappearance. 4:20:03 p.m. Lisa Kowalski hands investigators a notebook from her desk drawer. The second-to-last page shows a diagram of sewer tunnels beneath 10th Street, marked with a red note, sink point. 3 overlapping circles match the exact layout of the streetlights above, later confirmed by surveyors. 4:22:17 p.m. During interrogation, bus driver Carlos Rivera recalls a chilling detail. When Vix boarded, his shadow lingered outside for a second. According to Rivera, it moved as if shutting a door. Impossible, since bus doors slide inward. 4:25 p.m. Dust analysis from Vix's Arc'teryx jacket reveals silver-copper glass particles, matching the composition of 1999-era mirrors from factory number 4 in Kyiv. 2 hairs belong to Vix. The 3rd has maternal line genetic markers. 4:27:45 p.m. Officers inspect a sewer grate. This time, the lid is pried open 1.8 inches. Inside, a fresh size 10.5 shoe print, but the tread pattern is mirror-reversed from Vix's usual gait. On the 5th step lies a 1985 quarter with a scratch shaped like the number 3. 4:30 p.m. Detective Martinez accesses the Mirror Factory archives. A June 15, 1999 log entry notes that batch number 451 was moved to secure storage after an incident. An attached photo shows a cracked mirror reflecting a young man with a cane, though the workshop was empty when shot. 4:32:17 p.m. Geologist Jennifer White analyzes soil samples under the streetlights. At 9.8 feet deep, she finds a 1.8-inch layer of compacted glass radio-dated to 1999. Metal traces match the insole of Vix's shoe. 4:35 p.m. Techs recover deleted files from Kowalski's computer. The last saved document, number 45-1000, contains a hidden hex-encoded image. Route 57's map with 3 red dots forming a triangle. Coordinates align with the streetlights, sewer grate, and factory. 4:37:45 p.m. Nurse Evelyn Choi reports hearing glass chimes from Kowalski's apartment during Vix's disappearance, lasting exactly 45 seconds. The door vibrated. Later tests revealed microscopic mirror coating on its surface. 4:40 p.m. Enhanced bus cam footage shows an anomaly. Between 2:17 p.m. and 2:23 p.m., Vix's reflection appears for 0.045 seconds in a window, though he sat facing away. In the reflection, he holds a Fender guitar, his eyes open, contradicting medical records of Jason Moore's blindness. 4:42:17 p.m. City archives reveal Vix's birth certificate. Under special remarks, a stamped number 451. The back bears a fingerprint 100% matched to the cane found on the bus. 4:45 p.m. A factory storage search uncovers a crate labeled 451-1000. Inside, 3 mirrors, 17.7 x 39.4 inches. One's surface cracks form the numbers 2:23 p.m. 4:47:45 p.m. Lisa produces an envelope from Vix's safe. A ticket for flight number 451. Kyiv, Pittsburgh, 6/15/99. A handwritten note reads, "When 3 reflections converge, the door opens. UV light exposes hidden text. Code 45-1000. Transition point password." 4:50 p.m. Acoustic analysis of a payphone recording detects 3 frequencies: 451 Hz, 1000 Hz, and 45 Hz. Overlaid on a city map, they align with key locations. 4:52:17 p.m. Sergeant Leroy cross-references data. June 15, 1999, hit 113 degree Praus, 45 degrees, Pittsburgh's hottest recorded day. At 2:23 p.m., factory number 4's cooling system failed. The exact time batch number 451 was produced. 4:55 p.m. Technician Clay compiles a summary. The numbers 45, 100, 4 from 51 recur with eerie precision. Timestamps, coordinates, even scratch lengths suggest a meticulously designed system. 4:57:45 p.m. Final street cam review. At 2:23 p.m., all 3 streetlights flash simultaneously, 0.045 sec, 1,000 lumens. The cameras capture a cane-wielding shadow cast from 3 light sources at once. 5:00 p.m. The case is escalated to the Special Investigations Unit. The closing report states, evidence points to an orchestrated disappearance, but the physical laws involved defy current scientific understanding. 5:02:17 p.m. Lisa receives a final SMS. 45-100-451. Geolocation pinpoints the midpoint between the streetlights. Officers find only a 1985 quarter, tails up. Its edge reads, door closed. 5:05:23 p.m. Lisa Kowalski stands at the intersection, clutching a quarter in her hand. Her shadow, cast by 3 streetlights, fractures into 3 mismatched silhouettes. Detective Martinez records the asphalt temperature, 113 degree to 45 degrees C. Identical to the data from June 15, 1999. Within a 16-foot 5-meter radius, all surveillance cameras glitch simultaneously for exactly 0.45 seconds. 5:07:10 p.m. Tech specialist Clay connects ground-penetrating radar to the spot where the coin lies. At a depth of 4.7 feet, 1.45 meters, the device detects a hollow chamber measuring 3.3 high, 3.3 high, 3.3 feet. 1 suck 1 hex 1 meter. Its walls consist of signal-reflective material, composition matching Kiev-made mirrors from batch number 451. An artifact appears on the radar feed, the silhouette of a man with a cane standing inside the chamber. 5:09:45 p.m. Sergeant Leroy cross-references archived photos from the mirror factory. In a time-stamped image from 2:23 p.m. on June 15, 1999, a figure wearing an Arc'teryx jacket, a model not released until 2018, appears in the corner of the workshop. The photo's bottom right corner bears a stamp, 45-1000. 5:12:30 p.m. During a second interrogation, bus driver Carlos Rivera recalls a detail. When Vix boarded, his wristwatch displayed 2:17 p.m., but the hands were moving backward. Simultaneously, Carlos smelled almonds, identical to the odor described by Linda Parrott. 5:15 p.m. Forensics analyzes the Ambutech cane. Microscopic glass particles with unique optical coating adhere to the handle, a technology patented by the Kiev factory in 1999 under code number 451. Fingerprints belong to both Vix and Jason, layered 45 minutes apart. 5:17:45 p.m. Geologist Jennifer White drills toward the underground chamber. At 3.3 feet, 1 meter deep, the bore suddenly plunges through a membrane-like barrier. A camera lowered into the void reveals 3 mirrors angled at 100 degrees. At the center, a Fender guitar with a serial number containing 45-100. 5:20:23 p.m. Audio analysis of Vix's call to his wife detects a background pattern. 3 knocks spaced 0.45 seconds apart. Frequency matches glass cracking sounds recorded by nurse Evelyn Choi. 5:22:10 p.m. Lisa Kowalski balances the quarter on its edge. It emits a high-frequency tone, 451 Hz. Simultaneously, all 3 streetlights dim for 1.45 seconds. Surveillance footage captures a cane-bearing silhouette materializing at the intersection's center. 5:25 p.m. Technician Clay scans the subterranean guitar. Beneath the strings lies an embedded device, a 45 Hz frequency generator. The circuit board bears engraved coordinates, 40 degree 2645, N, 80 degree 0010 W, directly beneath the third streetlight. 5:27:45 p.m. Detective Martinez requests flight number 451's cargo manifest. Listed, 1,000 special purpose mirrors, crate number 45. Consignee, Project Synchronization, disbanded in 1999 after the mirror factory incident. 5:30:10 p.m. Radar scans of the 10th Street sewer tunnel reveal a 148-foot, 45-meter anomaly where signals reflect as if hitting a mirror. Temperature, exactly 50 degrees, 10 degrees amid surrounding 95 degrees, 35 degrees heat. 5:32:45 p.m. Lisa finds a 3-circle diagram in Vix's notebook. Overlaid on a map, the epicenters align with 1. The mirror factory, 2. The intersection, 3. Their apartment. Each radius, 1,480 feet, 451 meters. 5:35 RPM. Audio experts synchronize 3 key sounds: shattering glass, 45 sec, guitar notes, AED, and Vix's call knocks. Combined, they form a precise frequency signature: 45 Hz, 100 Hz, 451 Hz, 5:37 to 10 p.m. Forensics examines the Arc'teryx jacket. Its lining conceals a Pittsburgh map with 3 punctures, exactly aligned with the streetlight's coordinates. UV light reveals connecting lines forming a 45-degree, 100-degree, and 35-degree triangle. 5:40 p.m. Sergeant Leroy notes temporal patterns. All critical events occur at 45 or 100-minute intervals. Vix's final call lasted 45 seconds. His watch's GPS failed at 2:17:45 p.m. 5:42:45 p.m. Ground radar detects movement in the chamber. A human-sized object traverses between mirrors at 3.3 feet, 1 meter, per 4.51 seconds. Temperature plummets to 45 degree for 43 degrees source. 5:45 p.m. Technician Clay's 3D model, input with parameters 45, 100, 451, generates a spiral trajectory converging beneath the central streetlight. Estimated convergence, 2:23:45 p.m. 5:47:10 p.m. Lisa places the quarter on the asphalt. It vibrates at 45 Hz. The streetlights flash at 1,000 lumens. The chamber vanishes from radar, replaced by a 1.5-foot, 45 centimeters glass layer. 5:50 p.m. Final surveillance frame. Lisa's shadow fractures into 3 profiles: Vix, Jason, and a bespectacled stranger. Each holds distinct objects: cane, guitar, and a 18x 39-inch 45x100 cm mirror. 5:52:45 p.m. Detective Martinez closes the case officially as voluntary disappearance. One document remains: an intersection photo marked synchronization point activated 2:23:45 p.m. Ambient temperature during capture 113 degrees, 45 degrees Celsius. 5:55 p.m. 1 year later, a 4th streetlight is installed. It auto-calibrates to 451 lumens. Its base contains a copper plate engraved, "Here, 3 suns shine." 5:57:45 p.m. Lisa sells her apartment. Renovations reveal a wall niche, 3 mirrors facing inward, enclosing a 1985 quarter and Flight 451 ticket. A handwritten note: "When reflections match, the door reopens." 6:00 p.m. Facial recognition flags an anomaly. Bus number 57's surveillance periodically shows a cane-wielding silhouette in Vix's seat, always at 2:17:45 p.m. for 0.45 seconds. Cabin temperature drops exactly 18 degrees Celsius. 10 to 6:02:17 p.m. Final case log entry. All route number 57 cameras auto-delete footage from 2:17 to 2:23 p.m. every 45 days. System analysis confirms this loop has run since June 15, 1999.